ultra rare number 54 talking card. It's really valuable, and there's only 5 in existence, and blah, 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 blah.
8 sports cards in history have sold for over $3 million. These wild price tags result from a special confluence of factors like rarity, condition, folklore, and the prominence of the athlete. Some cards may be weak in categories like condition, but they make up for it with immense rarity. Imagine a video game athlete who has super high ratings for speed but lower points in strength. It's kind of like that. These factors balance out, and they can make up for a lacking in one area due to a strength in another. What's incredible about that list of the 8 sports cards to sell for over $3 million is the shocking variety. The list spans cards printed over a century apart, from peak condition to barely intact, from a 1909 T206 Honus Wagner to a Luka Doncic rookie card. Yet each have enough strength in specific buckets to power it to a multi-million-dollar valuation. The first and most relevant factor in today's modern age is condition. Assessing a checklist of features, including the sharpness of the card's corners, centering of the printing, quality of the surface, and more, third-party authenticators have emerged in the past 3 decades as indispensable pieces of the collectible card ecosystem. Condition arises out of a hodgepodge of causes, including the age of the card, quality of its manufacturing, and the owner's ability to care for the card over the years. PSA, BGS, and SGC, the 3 most popular services, review cards and assign each with a grade 1 through 10 to determine its condition. The card is then placed in a case, or slab, which features the name of the card as well as its grade and a certification number. On the websites of these companies, one's able to view a census of a specific card and identify the total number that have been graded, as well as the population of the card at each grade. This provides a quantifiable method for measuring scarcity of a card in each grade, parsing through what could often be a total production of thousands, down to a mere handful in some cases. The higher the grade and the lower population at that grade, the more valuable. Condition grades tend to be far higher for modern cards versus vintage, or older cards. This comes as a result of the simple idea that the older a card, the more likely it is to have spent considerable amount of time in the spokes of a bike wheel, whereas newer cards tend to have been treated more carefully, more like investments. Famously, urban legends surrounding cards like the T206 Honus Wagner, one of the most valuable cards in the world, play an enormous role in rarity. The Wagner's legend began with a dispute over the use of Wagner's likeness on the card, which was inserted into cigarette packs by the American Tobacco Company. This caused production to halt before large quantities could be distributed, leaving just around 60 in existence. The 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle falls under a similar category, as a vast array of unsold inventory was allegedly dumped into a river by Topps, creating added scarcity. It doesn't take a card economist to realize that low supply results in higher prices and vice versa. The card industry learned this the hard way, during a time known as the junk wax era. In 1989, the sports card hobby was drunk on production. Beginning in the late 80s, manufacturers had responded to a surge in demand by ushering in the junk wax era, selling untold number of base set designs to flocks of new hobbyists. The cards were differentiated by little more than their respective brand's logo, and the market was flooded with these worthless pieces of cardboard. If sports cards were a currency, hyperinflation wouldn't have been strong enough of a description. Prices bottomed and threatened to destroy the industry. Then, as the 90s came along, producers began manufacturing serial numbered, short printed, and parallel cards to induce artificial scarcity. Where scarcity used to be found as a result of folklore, like the T206 Wagner, it's now created intentionally to create high-end cards for collectors to chase down. A perfect example of this new age phenomenon is a Luka Doncic card, which sold for $3.12 million in 2022. It doesn't have the best grade, a BGS 9, but it is a 1 of 1, the pinnacle of serial numbered cards. Not to mention it comes embedded with a game-worn jersey patch and a signature to boot. An obvious but incredibly impactful element in card value is the face on the cardboard. Cards of LeBron, Mike Trout, Mickey Mantle, and Hall of Famers of the highest caliber command the highest prices. No shocker there. Another thing to consider is the year of the card's printing relative to the athlete's career. With few exceptions, rookie cards reign supreme. These are often the first cards released for a given player. The fact that many of these soon-to-be superstars had yet to prove themselves on the big stage tend to make these rookie cards all the more desirable. Everyone wants a Luka Doncic card today, but after he was drafted, he was far more of a risk. Who knew what the future held?